And we're live.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here, to change these things that we know and hold dear to us. And let us help others discover the meaning of the Mandela effect, how it affects them, and the price of milk. Thank you. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe down below.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to our exciting show. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining in. Welcome all Mandela effectians. So I'm joined with Sandy, you got Jeff and Esther, and welcome to the show, everyone. So I hope everyone had a wonderful week. Man, these days are flying by, aren't they, guys?
Yes, way too fast. Hi, everyone. Hi, Anita. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, everyone.
So,
hey, everyone.
we have the birthdays for this week. Jeff, you ready to grab notes?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Danny Bolanos is today. And Hebrew is actually October 26th. Stephanie Daly Porras is October 30th. And I'll send you those, okay?
And my son's is next Friday.
Oh, wow. Any other October birthdays out there that need mentioning?
Happy birthday, everyone.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Hebrew,
birthday.
and Esther's son, Danny.
Sandy brought something to my attention. Sandy, you want to elaborate on this just briefly? This word find actually had some residue.
Fire sent this to me. She found JCPenney the way we remember it in a word search.
Yeah, in a word search, you can see.
I sent you an image with it circled in the word search. It is in there the same way. So both ways they have it.
Wow.
JCPenney, exactly as it should be. That's good
And
residue,
they don't have
isn't
the
it?
JC against Penny. It's separated. It's JC space Penny.
That's great. It's perfect residue. Who found that?
Fire.
Okay, awesome. File of Fire. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome job.
Esther, you want to do a couple of shout outs? Any shout outs, people in the audience that are here?
Yeah, hi, Joe. And Thomas. Hi. I see Teresa's out there and your mom, Anita, as well. See Andrew Stone. Hi. Let's see anybody else. Sorry, it takes a second for my thing to catch up.
Yeah. Teresa's got a really bad cold, and I think she might have mentioned she has pneumonia. So everybody, please pray for her. She gets better, okay?
Yeah, more.
But she's there in the audience participating. So if you have any questions for me, if you'll relay them to her or whatever, I can get them from her. Let's see.
Sandy already got booted.
Oh no, not this early.
Wow.
It's that StreamYard bug.
We'll try to get her back in here. I know with the Naked Gun 33, that was pretty interesting with the You Like Me, You Really Like Me. That is really
that
cool.
Hang on, is the Naked Gun? Oh yeah, okay. The same guy. I'm trying to think. Doesn't he play like a goofy president in the movie or something like that?
Yeah, he does. Usually he does. So for some reason I was faking it. Yes, Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, he at the end of the movie. Yeah, there's an academy, and she's like, "You like me? You really like me?" right before the whole like stage goes up in flames.
Oh, really? In the movie?
So yeah, that was pretty. It's a reminder.
So it's
Yeah, I
residue?
think I can't remember what happens, but yes, no, he doesn't play the president. He plays
He plays some kind of secret agent or something like that in the movie.
yeah,
A cop.
A cop,
yeah.
yeah.
It's been a while since
Yeah,
I
I
watched
remember
the
her
movie.
saying that.
Yeah,
I remember her saying that in the movie.
yeah.
I have
Okay, well,
all three
guys,
of them.
yeah, every week we do the top 5 from Teresa's Mandela Reality Residue Hunters. She picks out the top 5 entries from her group. So this is the number 1 entry, and this is by Teresa. I think she picked one for her and several others from other people. So she says here, did you remember the Dark Shadows that ran from 1966 to 1971? Have you ever heard of the Dark Shadows cookbook that was published in 1970? The Dark Shadows cookbook was published in 1970 by Ace Books to accompany Dan Curtis's hit American TV horror soap opera series. Unlike Cooking Price-Wise and Vincent Price, which made sense given the genre icon's status as a culinary expert and his British cookery show, the Dark Shadows cookbook was simply an odd tie-in publication. And she just saw it on eBay for not $29, $299. So, compiled by Jody Cameron Malice, the cover blurb boasted the delights of Barnabas's beastly beverages, Quentin's ghoulish gulash, plus more than 150 unusual recipes, including 65 complete menus, exotic beverages, and how-to in the kitchen section. If you like Dark Shadows, you can eat like they did on the TV show. Have any of you guys ever heard of this cookbook?
Nope.
No.
That's pretty bizarre.
No, it came
It's
out
kind
before I
of
was.
it's kind of cool though because this is Halloween and everything, and all everything's kind of dark and creepy anyway. So that's kind of cool.
Hyperliminal.
What is it?
Oh, I just said hi to or as I call him, Lemon.
Oh,
Since I have a hard time
this is
saying
another interesting thing. Now these may or may not be Mandela effects, guys. Again, these are just interesting articles. Some of them are Mandela, and some are not. But see, like this one, for instance, Anthony Rogers says, no ME, but just thought I'd share the new haircut ideas for women going into 2023, each to their own. Okay. Interesting haircuts with women these days, huh? I don't know. I don't think I'd be okay with my little girl doing that, but it is what it is.
That girl half left looks miserable. It's miserable to cut off her hair.
Sandy, we can barely hear you. Can you adjust your mic a little bit?
Does it need that? I'll check.
Yeah, you are really quiet.
You sound really far away.
Oh, it is down. Is that better?
That's a little better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I turned it all the way up.
All right. So this insect, there's an insect, something else in Teresa's group, a Reddit user discovered an insect that looks like a weed. This is kind of funny.
I love the comments too.
Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a Pokemon or something like that, doesn't it?
It does look like a smoke. Oh, I don't think that one was.
It's a little Bulbasaur. It's a Bulbasaur.
You probably want some snack food after smoking that though. Get the flavor out of your mouth. Where my little girl just freaked out. Charity, yes.
All right. That's pretty cool. I might get a copyright. I hope not. Let's see.
Who
You know,
posted that one?
YouTube is about music. That's interesting. So we got 3 so far. Let me dig up 2 more that she
Brian,
sent me.
who
Yeah.
posted that one?
What?
Who posted that one about the insect?
I don't know. Teresa just sent me the direct link. If you want to, we can get with her and find out where that came from. Or if Teresa, could you post that link in the chat where you found that one from? The
Yeah,
insect
isn't
that
it?
looks like a weed.
Yeah, isn't it just like a little and not a parasite, but like a little tiny bug that just basically kind of like camouflages itself? If that's if I remember reading it correctly, that's all of that stuff on top is not actually the bug itself. It's just like stuff that it gets on top of it so it can be camouflaged. So trying to answer some of the questions they're like, what is that? It's an insect. That's
Yeah.
just like has like
Do we have a? Does it have a name?
I can't remember it. It does in her group. It actually does
A
say what
lace
it is.
something?
I can't remember what it is.
Lace wing or lace wig or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a bug with like camouflage on it to keep it safe. But man, it really does look like somebody put in something.
Ed Hen says, if you all watch season 5, episode 8 of Arrested Development, you'll see tons of American flag residue, big and small, and ahoy. Ahoy, Ed Hen.
Yeah, you gotta love American flag residue. You know, right away in the very first episode of Stranger Things, you know that the
Mhm.
cop, he plays a major role in that series.
Yeah.
Right away, you could see his American flag on his shoulder is residue for the old flag. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is another one in Teresa's group by Rachel Casada. Um, the hairy frog was
Oh,
dreamt up in a
we,
monster movie.
we have
What?
to be careful with this. That is not what it looks like.
It came from Pinterest.
You have to be careful with that. Right, that is a drawing. That is not what the hairy frog looks like. I believe I posted a link in the comments. Fact check so you can see what it looks like.
Okay.
It is hairy. It's just not like that. Looks like a sloth. It is hairy. It's just not that hairy. I don't want to spread
Okay.
false information.
It says there is a species in Africa which causes thorn-like claws to burst out of its skin when threatened. The image used to depict the species is a digitally manipulated image. Wow.
Yes, you see, you gotta be careful.
I'm glad somebody fact checked that because that's the thing. You know,
That's
why
somebody
would
we
somebody
missed.
do that? Come on. So this poor person in your group, did they reply back?
No, they didn't reply back. I just fact checked it, put the comment in, and it was left alone.
Okay.
I didn't see what the actual frog looks like.
I have a
Well,
picture of the actual frog, if you want a picture of it.
don't worry about it.
Okay. Like, nah, it's
I'm
fine.
surprised. Teresa, you're gonna have to send me a new link of some other different article then, okay? Can you send me another article since that one was kind of bogey?
Well, the hairy frog is still worth it. It is hairy. It's not like it's not hairy. It just doesn't look like that. Do you want to see? Look, I'm putting it in the chat. You decide. You decide. Look at that. He's got hairy legs.
Oops.
Okay.
Oh, it looks wing larva. Ooh, wow.
That's what it looks like, you guys.
Still looks like a frog.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, that looks weird still.
Yeah.
It looks like it's growing mold. That's what it looks like.
It looks weird though, the shape of the frog and everything. It just looks weird.
It's pretty darn ugly.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe
Poor little
Bloor's
frog.
syncing with me tonight. Joe Bloor and I are syncing. He just said Chewbacca frog.
Chewbacca frog, yes. All right, Teresa just sent me a different article from her group.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm gonna mute because they're about to scream.
Okay. There's
Penn
an
State
artist
is
who
winning.
paints. Yes, that's fine. There's an artist who paints regular and famous people who have passed away in the past. What if these change in the near future? That's for the eyes to see and the ears to hear. What do you guys think about all this stuff? These gives a whole new meaning to painting the fence.
You're freaking me out. I just saw Chewbacca. Catherine Hellman, we're talking about who's the boss tonight. There's so many Mandela effects on that wall.
I know, right?
I'm freaked out right now. Oh my god.
Interesting.
That's a really good artist, I will say that though.
I know. I wonder.
I mean, it looks like somebody like printed
They
them.
look like
all.
actual photographs.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
That's awesome. What do you guys think about that? Pretty cool, huh?
That's really cool. Yeah.
I always like seeing art from other people. Chewie died, yes. The actor who played
Yeah,
him.
the actor who played Chewbacca. When did he die? Do we know?
I think it was around the summertime, wasn't it? Wasn't it this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I think you're right.
I will say the last like 2-3 years kind of all blends into one another. So the way that how fast time goes.
Feels like we lost an entire year.
Well, yeah, I can't
Lose
believe that
an entire year.
I still can't believe that Princess Leia died.
Mm-hmm.
6 years ago?
Has it been that long? Wow.
December 27th, 2018, I think is when she died.
Wow.
You can check me on that if you want to. Am I right?
I don't know. I know it's interesting. Like I go back and I see like memories and stuff. And I'm like, wow, it was really that long ago.
Well, shoot, yeah. And
years,
COVID was when COVID broke out, it was already 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's something about that just kind of made time go by so much, like not only quicker, but just like it didn't make sense. It's like time hasn't made sense since this whole thing started.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so credit goes to Curious and Curiouser. I still keep calling her Curiouser and Curiouser. But anyway, recently a jellyfish jamboree took place on North Carolina's Outer Banks. Hundreds of cannonball jellyfish, the most common jellyfish in that area, washed ashore. So this is our first Mandela effect that we're covering tonight. So park rangers believe it's due to the mating and spawning season of red drumfish, whose larvae are a preferred food of cannonball jellyfish.
You don't have to read that. It's okay.
Yeah, anytime I look at the Latin stuff, I'm like, okay, that looks like Roadrunner. The Roadrunner cartoon. So what's strange is it's not normal for this many jellyfish to wash ashore simply searching for food. But it isn't usual to see this happen. It's not unusual. After large storms like a Hurricane Ian, for instance, okay, the jellyfish will be left alone on the shoreline for Mother Nature to take its course, either being washed back out to sea or become food for other wildlife. That's interesting. What is that? A little crab that's caught in the jellyfish, or what is that?
Actually, that crab and the cannonball jellyfish have a symbiotic relationship.
What?
Somehow they help each other. Yeah, and I didn't look too much into it, but
Wow.
yeah, the crab hangs out with the jellyfish, so and they have
Well,
no stinger, so you can pick them up and handle them.
oh, these jellyfish have no stingers?
No stinger whatsoever.
That's interesting. So, cannonball jellyfish come in a variety of colors. They grow literally to the size of a cannonball and have no stinging mechanism, making them perfectly safe to handle. Wow. So colorful, and they look like mushroom clouds.
Yeah. But yeah, they are really colorful. The blue ones are crazy.
Crazy looking or crazy behavior wise?
Crazy looking.
Okay. So that's our first one. And then going to our next one. So this next one is going to be called Blue Holes. All right.
Does Jeff Rester want to read a little bit?
Esther, would you like to read?
I can't read. No, just kidding. Sorry, I didn't know it was in here, so I had. Thankfully, she went to bed. I don't mind. So this one goes to Curiouser as well. So a few years ago, this massive blue hole popped into our reality, and now research has discovered what is at the bottom. Measuring around 1,000 feet in diameter and 400 feet deep, the Great Blue Hole of Belize attracts many tourists each year. Using a submarine, the researchers descended to the bottom, but at 290 feet, they noticed no life present at all. These are cool. There is a toxic layer of hydrogen sulfide. Sulfate? This is weird. H.
I think Cindy meant to put sulfide.
Okay, sulfide.
No, it's actually soul food. It's actually, well, unless it was a typo in the article, it was soul food.
Okay.
H28. Yeah, I know. It's H2S.
Okay.
That's weird.
Covering the entire hole at 290 degrees below the surface, or 290. Sorry, I can't. Oh, feet below the surface. Sorry, it's a little blurry on my end. Hydrogen sulfide is a colorless, flammable, corrosive, and toxic gas that, even diluted in the water, prevents oxygen from entering below that point. Anything below 290 feet will quickly suffocate and die. Wow.
Esther,
Yeah.
do me a favor. In the top right-hand corner of your screen, click the 3 dots. I don't know. It's a YouTube bug. It's defaulting to a lower resolution. That's why it's blurry.
Well, I think it's also my glass.
If you click the 3 dots.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, okay, but mine I had to manually set because it was defaulting to 480p. It was horrible.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, here, I'll just make my screen bigger. I just want to be able to see the comments. So I just had the smaller screen. Let's see. I'll read from the top. When they reached the bottom, they found conch shells and remains of hermit crabs perfectly preserved due to the lack of oxygen. They also found a GoPro, a Coke bottle, and the remains of 2 divers. All 3 have been reported missing over the years, who will remain in their final resting place. Oh. They also found huge stalactites, which told the story of how the hole was formed as actually a sinkhole. It's believed that the cave once stood where the hole exists, but the last ice age caused its collapse, creating the deep hole we see today. While researching this story for Curiouser, I learned something that blew my mind. There are other blue holes like the one in Belize, a lot of them. The Red Sea Hole, Egypt. This blue hole has claimed 130 lives since 1997 and sits closer to the coast than any other blue hole. Dean's Blue Hole, the Bahamas. This is the second deepest known blue hole, shaped like an inverted hourglass. Wow.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. Hoffman's Cay, the Bahamas. Unlike the other blue holes, this one is located in the center of the island. Wow. Oh, can you imagine jumping in that? Oh. Andros, the Bahamas. Andros has over 150 blue holes, but the strangest one is the black hole in the middle of the island. It's toxic and deadly if you go for a swim, which is obviously forbidden. Ooh.
I'm sure there are signs posted all the way around it, right? Sure.
I'm hoping not only signs, I'm hoping they have fences and walls.
If you go skinny dipping, you might not come back.
Yeah, that'd be horrible. The Dragon Hole, China, the deepest hole known to man, and the water's almost electric blue due to the depth and clarity of the South China Sea waters. Wow, I will say it is really pretty though. The Azure Window, Malta. This hole was created by a collapse of one of the stone arches thousands of years ago.
It's so beautiful. It looks like one of the images in my Windows gallery.
Yeah. Guess you can swim in that one. Did you know there were
Wow.
hundreds of big blue diving and fishing holes around the world? We have talked about just one, so I believe this could be a Mandela that so many exist. Easy entry blue hole. Yeah, I've never heard of a blue hole before. I mean, I've seen like pictures of stuff that looks like a blue hole, but I just thought it was really deep water. That's pretty interesting.
Again,
Everyone just keeps talking about the one in Belize, and it's not even the most impressive. There's 150 on one island in the Bahamas. That's just crazy to me.
Well, didn't they? Isn't it, Sandy? Isn't it a Mandela effect that the Bermuda Triangle has changed, and that has the Bahamas linked as part of the triangle?
Yes, I have heard there's a Mandela effect with that. And Bit of Venom is in the chat, welcome, and says there's a tropical lagoon in the South Pole too. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's crazy. I agree, the reality is weird.
Hang on, which one is this?
I don't know.
Okay, this is the one, Korea. This is about Korea.
Yes.
This is the next one. Okay, Jeff?
All right.
Do you want to read this one, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll read it. I may be totally wrong on this, but it's been bugging me, so I want to ask you all something about Korea. Which map has Korea how you remember it? A, B, C, or D?
Now, I know a lot of you, some of you look at maps and other people don't. I looked at it recently when Squid Game came out.
Surely Russia's much bigger than that, right?
That's just the part of Russia that reaches down to Korea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Russia's much, 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 much bigger, yes.
Oh, gosh. The top two kind of look very much the same.
They're not. There's water in between on the left.
Oh.
And not on the right.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't looked at that area in a long time.
Yeah, me neither, and it would be a guess for me.
Would be a guess for me too. I don't really know.
Oh
I used
man,
to love those cats.
it's probably D is what it probably is now, isn't it?
Well, that's what it looks like in the chat. I got different answers on Curious's channel, and now here it's 100% D.
Wow.
I want to say that D looks the most right, but I have no idea if that's even. No idea.
I know it wasn't.
Right.
Like it wasn't like an island. Like it was kind of a peninsula. You know.
Well, they're all attached. None of them are islands.
Well,
They're just attached in different ways.
yeah, yeah, attached. Yeah, I would say D. I'm just guessing though. Which one's
Okay, so the
correct?
only other answer we got in the chat was B from Vita Venom. All right, so here's the thing. Currently it is D, but I don't remember it like that. You go to the next slide. It's literally, I see a gun when I look at it. It didn't look like a gun for me, it's shorter. It didn't have that long peninsula, and there wasn't so much land touching China in my past.
Well, the map, yeah, it shares a much larger border with China. Yep.
It was never
So you're
shaped like a
torn,
gun. I remember A or B.
right?
I think it was more B though. I do remember 2 points of contact. I'm thinking I remember 2 points of contact with China. So B would actually fit more what I remember. I
My
do
dad
not
would
remember
probably
it
know.
shaped like a gun.
My dad would probably know more about this one, since he knows a lot about history, World War II, and the um, Korean War.
So which one is it? D?
It is
It's
D.
D. Yeah, it's D now. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's a better A and B versus a real map to give you a better picture of Sandy's reality as opposed to the current reality.
It definitely do look
And I
different.
agree with, what'd you say?
I'm sorry, I was yawning. I said they definitely do look different.
And Jermo Sara says it does look too close to Japan though. And the way I agree with that. The way I remember it, it's farther away and it is much smaller than it is now. It is huge now. But the biggest thing is it looks like a water gun. Like one of those water guns I had as a kid, that's what it looked like. It did not look like that in my past.
Okay, so this next one is the Tata.
Oh, this is a
Excuse
fun
me.
one. It's just a
Hold on.
quick logo one.
This is it's just the Tata logo.
Yeah.
Tata Steel
But
Group.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
All right, and Sandy found this one uh, about the Tata Group is an Indian steel company and auto manufacturer. Their cars are a subsidiary of Mercedes-Benz. Looking at their logo today, we can't know that it changed, or can we? You guys see the upside down V's for the A's? The upside V for an A is one of the first Mandela logo patterns that we found. But we have to be cautious when we find unknown logos today because in this reality, it's always been used for A's. I don't know, for those of you out there who own Samsung, you know, I remember going back to as early as 2016. um, actually, even
Yeah,
before that,
you
I
all
noticed
right,
the
Brian?
Samsung. Yeah, I'm fine. I dry throat, but the
Oh,
Samsung logo is messed up for me. It's got an upside down V. But Tata is different. They've been using the upside down V since 1954.
Wow. Hmm.
And actually, it's 1945. That was the earliest image I could find with a date.
Yeah, that's how we can honestly say, without even knowing the company, that their logo has been Mandela. The V for an A was never used prior to 2012 in my past. However, the company used A's randomly throughout its history, but officially it's been this way since the company began in 1945. Bona fide logo Mandela, in my opinion. How about yours?
You want to run and get water really quick or something?
I've got water.
Oh, okay.
Guess that's it, right? Oh, wait, there's more?
Yeah, there's a couple more images. That's okay.
Okay. And there's the
There's
Tata.
the
I've
shell
never
and the
heard of
red.
this.
Well,
Never
it's
heard
an
of this.
Indian company.
You said
Yeah.
Tata. I was thinking
I've
something
never.
else. We don't use that. We use that term nowadays, but for something you can't show on this show. It's a family-friendly show. Yeah. Although we did show the weird insect.
I
That
thought
was pretty
Tata meant goodbye.
funny. Not the way I've been hearing it lately.
Again, it can.
Ta-ta. I guess ta-ta for now. We'll say it that way.
Not for now.
All right, the next one is Dennis the Menace, and that's with Sandy and Teresa Lynch. Sandy, you want to read this one?
Sure. Okay. As soon as it gets on my screen. Dennis the Menace is totally Mandela in our opinion. This presentation contains two totally different possible Mandela effects. The first one from Sandy, the second from Teresa. Part 1. Things I noticed while researching for Teresa. We begin with a simple question. Which color overalls do you remember in the comics and cartoon? Red, blue, or both?
You should have put green as an alternative, Sandy.
No, I'm not
Then you
putting
had
that out there
then you
anymore.
had the primary video colors.
RGB.
Yeah,
I know I
I
already
feel
have
like
an
it was
answer, but
red. To me, I think it was red.
I'm seeing all red so far. Red for me as well. I don't remember blue.
I don't
Red
remember
for
the
me
blue.
too.
General Sorrow says never blue. Red. So everybody's saying red.
Okay,
Okay.
we can go on.
You have to look it up. We're not supposed to look it up. I always remember red.
Wait, what? You're saying it's both now?
It's both now, but 95% of the time he is wearing red. And while I remember both, the shirt is a real problem for me. Which shirt do you remember? Red, white, blue, black.
Gosh, I feel like it was the blue black, maybe.
So you guys don't have to write it. You can just write 1, 2, or 3 if you want.
I'm gonna stick
I
with
don't
3, I
know.
Patty
guess.
So,
Tubbs.
oh,
Okay, guys.
Either
remember.
either 2 or 3. I think it's 2 or 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick
We
with
have
3 though.
a 1. Patty Tubbs is a 1. Joe is a 3. Your dad is a 1. Frank Nunez is a 2. Parody Bear is a 2. TD Mage is a 3. Parody Parody Bear again. I must have skipped you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why am I not
And
remembering
your mom is a
striped shirt?
1.
I just thought it was
Welcome,
a solid color.
Bass Player
Yeah, I thought it was a
10.
solid color.
I
Bass
don't
Player 10
remember.
doesn't remember. That's okay. Repair Studio. Welcome is a 2.
Yes, this is actually
Yes,
live.
you're actually
Private.
live, private trans girl. Sorry, Esther.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Teresa,
Okay,
Teresa is a 1. I
now I see.
remember red, white with the blue and blue, white with the red. I have found both in residue and random printing in books, but neither are the official colors. So if you said 1 or 2, it's wrong.
That doesn't
The
look
answer
right.
is 3.
I told you it was
It does
3.
not look right.
I was right.
It's wrong. That's so
But I
wrong.
thought it was more of a solid color, though. I thought it was like maybe blue, like that color blue. Put a solid color.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a
I believe
solid.
you. I believe you guys. It was always straight for me. Jeff's not even commenting. I don't know what he remembers.
I remember also blue, but also a little bit of the stripe with the red and white as well, but not what it is now.
Okay, so officially he wears red with blue and black, a blue and black shirt, and the black looks so wrong to me.
Yeah, I don't. It does to me too. I think it was more of a solid blue. But I'm looking back in my head. I think some of the episodes did have the striped black and blue. Um, but it was later on in the series. I don't know. I think it was more of the solid blue though in almost all the episodes.
It
Yes,
wasn't
Freddie
Brian.
Freaking.
In your past it was, but in this reality it wasn't.
Oh, that looks weird.
But over here you got black and red with the blue overalls.
Yeah, very rarely. There's also a black red striped shirt with the blue overalls. That this double feature shows 2 variations on the same cover. Do you remember black red? So the double feature has blue overalls with a red and black shirt and red overalls with a black and blue shirt.
Yeah, man, this is so confusing.
The red and black looks familiar to me too. Just not the one it is now, the blue with the black.
Mm-hmm.
That looks wrong with the black on there like that.
Even Dairy Queen couldn't decide what color shirt Dennis Mitchell wore. So they have blue and white and blue and black.
Well,
But the light blue looks more familiar. Oh yeah, that striped shirt on the bottom.
oh yeah, this is the yeah. Who is that guy from Grumpy Old Men? What's his name? He was
Walter
in Dennis
Walter
the
Matthau.
Menace.
Matt, yep.
Yeah.
What?
The original Walter Matthau, he said.
Okay.
The original TV series, while shot in black and white, had Dennis in blue overalls with a blue-white shirt, and the movies had blue overalls with green-blue and red-blue stripes, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah, he does wear blue overalls on the action. So that's where it's like, I remember red though in the old comics and stuff, but not.
All right,
I
guys,
knew
you're
he was.
looking at his hair. You're looking at his hair here. Finally, which eyebrows and hair do you remember? A, B, or C?
I remember the first one, number
Brian,
one.
can you
A.
zoom in? Brian, can you zoom in on A, B, C for them? Like all 3 at the same time?
Yeah,
There
sure.
we go, guys. Thank you. So
I,
A for
I'm
Brian and Jeff. What about you, Esther?
A for me.
I know that A looks the most familiar. I'm pretty sure I know which one it actually is now because I'm pretty sure I've seen it that way. B, he looks like he's mad. So that one, he doesn't look as innocent because they didn't want to portray him as mad. So it wouldn't be B. So I would say A is the one that looks the most familiar, but I know that the C looks like it's probably going to be correct because They do that weird eyebrow thing
So-
now.
So Tom is C. Fatty Tubs, welcome, is C. General Sorrow is A. Frank Nunez is A. Repair Studio is A. Teresa's A. Parody Bears A. Joe Bloor's A. TD Mage is C. All right, we can go on, Brian.
All right.
I'm having a dual memory of A and B, but it's always been C. What I know for sure is his hair never covered his eyes, and his eyebrows weren't in his hair, just floating around. Do you guys remember this? Now wait until you see. Just wait. That is not the worst of his hair. Just watch it. You'll see. I have some. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's coming up. I promise. Side note, I have no memory of Jay North's Dennis wearing anything other than the overalls. Do you remember episodes where he dressed in the striped polo and pants outfit?
No.
I don't remember him like this. He always wore the overalls in my pants.
Yeah, that looks so wrong.
I remember the outfit, but he had the overalls every time over the outfit. It was like not regular pants. It was overalls over that shirt.
Right.
I don't think I ever watched the live action show, so I wouldn't know.
Those eyebrows look like, that looks weird, man.
I had
Look
a feeling
how
it was
low the hair goes. Look
Yeah.
at the bottom middle. Look how low the hair goes. I don't remember this.
Yeah, he doesn't look menacing with his eyebrows above that high, but with the like right below his. Sorry, I'm responding to a comment. But he does look menacing when his eyebrows was directly below his hairline. That's what
Pretty
he looked
soon
like
he won't be a menace anymore.
I mean,
Yeah.
his eyebrows, they look like antenna now, or horns.
Yeah, to reply to
I mean,
private.
especially that. Look at the one there on the top right. Doesn't it look like antenna?
Wow, look at that.
Look at the statue in the bottom middle.
Sprinkles. It looks like sprinkles on his hair.
That's what it looks like.
It's an ice cream cone.
You're making me hungry, Esther.
It was
That's what it looks
weird.
like.
For ice cream.
Ice cream with sprinkles. Yeah.
Yes.
It just looks. Yeah, I think I've seen cartoons been doing that with like the weird eyebrows over the hair, and it's like, why would you do that? It's just that's not normal. Yeah.
Hey, Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay, are you looking at the middle, Dennis?
Yeah, there are
I
two
know
different
this is-
ways there.
Yeah, in the residue, it looks like your residue changed.
No, that was like that.
Oh, it
There are
was?
two different ways. Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Yep.
It looks
You
like
see
the
Menace.
bottom right may be a costume.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr.
Again, it's
Wilson.
Sometimes they're blue overalls, sometimes they're red.
Right, and then over there he's got the blue and the white shirt in the bottom middle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They have the shirt all wrong.
There's a lot to get through here, Brian. We still have Teresa's.
More residue. These ones here have looks like the blue and the white, where you see red and white in that top right image. But then he's got the blue
The blue.
overalls in that image as well. So
Yeah, see, these are my memory. Red overalls with the blue and white stripe, blue overalls with the red and white stripe. All right, part 2. Teresa found something which I simply cannot believe. before we go further, yes or no in the chat. Actually, just yes if you are. Is anyone in the chat from the UK? I doubt it because it'd be very early in the morning. Is anyone from the UK in the chat? Okay, well, I am so curious if
Oh,
it's a
that's
reverse Mandela for someone in the UK. All right, we're going to go on. To credit Teresa Lynch, a sync like no other happened in March of 1951 between two artists, one in the US, the other in England.
Sandy?
Hank, it just got on my screen, Brian. There's a delay. Hank
Okay,
Ketchum was the artist who created Dennis the Menace, aka Dennis Mitchell, with the first comic appearing March 12, 1951, in 16 newspapers in the USA, distributed by Post Hall Syndicate. The best thing to do, Brian, is when I'm reading the last sentence, flip it, because there's a delay. It's still not on my screen. There we go. On the same day, David Law's version of Dennis the Menace, aka Dennis Menace Jr., made its debut in The Beano, a British comic magazine. Unlike Hank Ketchum, David Law did not create this character, only brought him to life. The creator was the Beano editor, George Mooney, who heard a British music hall song with the lyrics, "I'm Dennis the Menace from Venice," and decided to create a character around the song lyrics.
wow. Wow, that's interesting.
pretty coincidental at the same time.
The odds have to be astronomical. The creation of two Dennis the Menace characters, both with striped shirts, wreaking havoc in their neighborhood, was a pure coincidence. So was the identical release date. What are the odds of this happening? They were both released March 12, 1951.
Gosh, that sounds a lot like that time me and Teresa were both in Walmart at the same time photographing Lorna Doones cookies. And we both did not talk to each other about it beforehand.
And Teresa and I were searching for residue once, and we found the same shirt at the same time. Same thing. But this is just crazy. So this is the UK Dennis the Menace, Dennis Menace Jr., where we have Dennis Mitchell.
Interesting.
It's interesting how ours is more friendly than theirs because everybody
Yeah.
knows like, people over in England are supposed to be like, nicer. It's very interesting. And that, the most people look at Americans as more rude and obnoxious and stuff, and most people look at Britain and all of that as more of like a softer side. So it's kind of flip. It's kind of interesting how they're flipped the characters. Because that Dennis the Menace is really not a good person, and our Dennis the Menace is just kind of more of just a normal child who just doesn't really have like good boundaries. He's just kind of left to his own devices, and he just kind of gets into trouble because nobody's there watching him.
All right, so next one is the one who's the boss?
Who wants to read?
I'll read.
You have to present the sound, Brian.
Okay, sure.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
The 1980s TV series Who's the Boss has changed for me, and I'm really curious what you remember. In the series finale, a wedding takes place. Who got married? 1, Tony and Angela. 2, Samantha and Hank. 3, both get married. What do you remember?
I don't know.
I
would say
love this show.
I was going to say
Brian.
number 1. 1 for me.
Jeff or Esther?
That was number 1.
For me, it was none of that. I don't remember anybody getting married.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't in the final episode for me. No wedding at all. It was about something completely different.
That is interesting.
So
in the chat, it's okay if you don't know. I mean, the series is over 30 years old. This is one of my favorite shows, though, when I was a kid. Anita says 1. Teresa is guessing 1. The Venomans 1. TD Mage is guessing 1. 1, I think, I should say. I think it ended in 1993 or 2. Right?
Well, yeah.
It's the early 90s.
Early 90s.
And I think it was 92.
92, yeah.
Wasn't Full House and all that came on around that time?
Yep.
Full House started
Sorry,
in
General
the
Sorrow.
80s also.
Early
Full House.
90s.
Parody Bears a 1.
Which came first,
Well,
Full
Ed
House
Hen was
or
born the year I graduated high school.
which came first, Full House or Family Matters?
Full House.
And then they introduced Step by Step later.
Yeah.
Wow. Original release is September 22nd, 1987 for Full House.
Step by
Really?
Step started in 91.
Step by Step was 91?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the answer is B. What?
All right, so
No.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
The answer is B. While Tony and Angela are finalizing their wedding day, Sam and Hank, who the heck is Hank, decide to say I do. Tony and Angela never marry. Is this your memory?
Is this one of those where it's like an alternate ending, or did this actually happen?
No, this actually happened. Tony and Angela never got married.
Wow. No, the answer is not B, Sandy. The answer is BS.
You got that right.
Actually, General Sorrow, she was 20. She was 20 years old. Alyssa Milano was born in 1972, and her character was the same age as her actual age.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the same age as Jonathan. Well, Jeff and I are the same age as Jonathan.
Yep.
Wait, which one's Jonathan?
Angela's
the little
son.
boy, Angela's son. Yeah, she was
Oh.
20 for the series, too. Mm-hmm. Brian?
Next one?
There you go. Go ahead, Jeff.
Not only do I have no memory of Sam getting married or who Hank is, I clearly remember Tony and Angela getting married, and now they don't. So how did Tony and Angela's story end? Exactly how the series began, with Tony applying for the housekeeping position at Angela's, and then they kiss and it fades to black.
So this is the final scene, Brian.
Yeah, they gave me this big banquet, and they gave me the award. It was
Turn it up, Brian.
And I went back to my beautiful apartment.
I can't just turn it up. I have to exit the screen. Hold on.
You quit? Yeah, they gave me this big banquet, and they gave me the award. It was terrific. And then I went back to my beautiful apartment, and then I realized I have nobody to show my plaque to. See?
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Huh? Actually, I did a little lamp of education. I like that. So, about the job, not for nothing. Looks like you could use me.
Tony, that's very sweet of you, but I thought we both agreed.
Well, we were both wrong, Angela. I mean, I can't apply for jobs in the area. I just know now that it's very important that I be in the area.
I see.
Yeah, it kind of bothered me that I was out of the area.
Look, Tony, I don't want you to ever resent me.
Angela, the only thing I resented was being without you.
So, what are your qualifications?
Well,
You got the job.
no kidding.
And that's how it ends. No
I
wedding.
don't remember that. I thought they got married.
Yeah, well, wait till you hear this. Yeah, Jack.
You want me to play the clip?
Years
Let-
later, Alyssa
let Jeff-
Milano, Sam.
You want me to play the clip first?
No, let Jeff read it first.
Okay.
Yeah, years later, Alyssa Milano, Sam states that most people still believe that Tony and Angela married. This is 100% a Mandela effect for me. Is it an Emmy for you too?
Is that people still think that the series finale was your wedding?
Yeah. They think it was your wedding.
It was my wedding and you gave me away.
Catch.
People think that you guys got married. Nobody, everyone thinks.
You know why we didn't get
Because you
married?
guys were always together.
Because it wasn't the show.
People sort of think that the show ended with Tony and Angela getting married when in fact they didn't. But I think that's just because people really wanted them to have a definitive ending, and that's not really what the show is about. It has a title with a question mark at the end.
After briefly moving to Iowa for a coaching job, Tony surprises Angela in the finale. The show ended the way it began.
What are you doing here?
Well, I heard you were looking for a housekeeper.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
I heard you were looking for a housekeeper.
What are your qualifications?
Well,
So, there's a man's excuse there, too.
Years later, Alyssa Milano states that most people, yeah, I read that already.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
And that's
man's
it.
excuse is that we just assume it. The man's excuse is that we just assume because, everybody expected them to get married. And that's why there's a question mark on the title screen. Like, they thought of that in the very beginning.
Okay, this next one is Jeff and Sandy. Mr. Rogers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
Want me
actually, I
to
have
read
to
it?
add. Yeah, but I have to add something at the. So I'll let you know. But Philo Fire wanted to ask something. Okay.
Okay. Credit Sandy and Jeff Zanzibar. The Mr. Rogers' Beautiful Day theme song has changed again for us, as well as some visual things in the show. The first part and the last part that is repeated of the song has changed for Sandy. Please fill in the blank. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Blank, you be mine.
Okay, I'm gonna play the clip.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be?
And we know that it was the. Now it's this. That's the old
Well,
Mandela effect with this.
yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and now it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
Mhm.
That's
So
that's
Frank
an older.
Nunez
I
says
mean,
won't. Yep. Frank Nunez says won't.
I
TD
think the
Mage
next
says
part is
could.
could you? I think this could you be mine. This next part.
Okay, Parody Bears could. Your dad is won't. Rich Fasanic is would. Ed Hen, so awkward.
I think it's could you be
Teresa is
mine.
would. Okay, could for you. Jeremy Sorrow is won't. See how it's all over the place? That's how you know it's a change. There's 3 different answers happening. What about you, Esther and Jeff?
I would say won't, but that would be mine. I
In
thought
that part,
was.
I remember could.
It could sounds familiar, but I don't know. I feel like he wasn't
No,
asking the question at the same time.
I remember could you be mine, but that's only because I've been researching it. The first change. This I don't think for me it's been would you be mine? Could you be mine?
They both sound
Go
like
ahead,
they're
Jeff.
correct. Like they could be either way.
Go ahead, Jeff.
But it could both be won't, you know? It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Could be won't. I could see where people are saying won't, but it would be won't twice. It wouldn't just be won't once.
Well, I actually have a dual memory on that, but I also remembered would, so I didn't want to confuse it even more. I didn't want like 16 different answers in the chat, so I went with what was there. You go back, Ryan. He didn't read it or play the clip.
Oh,
Jeff,
I thought I put it.
where are you? No,
Okay.
Jeff didn't even read it.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Won't you be mine? But won't has always been could. Do you have the current memory?
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Carrie, I
General,
hope you figured out the language thing. If not, I'll go back and check the comment after the show.
could you be mine? I don't know. It just doesn't really fit with the song. That's why it's like, won't you be mine? It's like,
I
asking
agree.
a question of, won't you be like, not could. It's more like, I don't know. The word could just sound like a begging word to me in that sentence.
Are you
Then,
able to be mine? Yeah, it doesn't sound
I
yeah, it's
right.
like,
always remember it like that, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just sounds off. I mean, like I say, it sounds like it could fit, but it just didn't seem right for the song.
I mean, maybe he says would twice. Would you be mine? Would you be mine?
No, he says could.
Yeah, I know that, but maybe he's supposed to say would twice or won't twice.
I could see would being said again. But I remember him saying two different words though, because he didn't.
It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood. A
Well-
neighborly day for an. I think it's a neighbor, right?
Can you just like write down the
Well,
lyrics
wait,
somewhere in
Jeff,
pencil?
Jeff,
Yeah, Jeff. Can
read
you
it.
read this?
Yeah. So I remember the next verse of the song completely different than it is now. Please fill in the blanks. It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a blank.
Play the clip, Brian.
It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know the next line.
Jeff, you want to read this one?
Yeah. So I remember it's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a neighbor. But neighbor has always been beauty. You remember beauty?
No.
Well, in the
Me
chat,
either.
you got in the chat we have neighbor and beauty.
No.
I remember it neighbor so clearly. Like I could hear him saying it, like in my head. Like I was
It wasn't.
shocked.
It was neighbor. Now it's beauty. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a huge find.
Thanks. I was shocked when I saw that.
There's residue.
Oh, there's a ton of residue of both of them.
Yeah, the "Won't You Be Mine" was. I don't know. It just sounds like a better question.
And two people in the chat, General Sorrow and Preliminal, are saying beauty wood. Yeah, I was saying that too.
Yeah, I know it sounds weird.
I
It's
remember
a
a beautiful day there again. I remember it's a beautiful. Can we go back 1 minute?
beautiful day. A beautiful day when
A
it's
I
neighborly day in
remember.
this neighborhood. A neighborly day for a neighbor. That's what I remember.
Yeah, neighborhood, right. That is what I remember, not beauty wood. But Jeff remembers beauty wood, so I left that in.
Yeah. I
I
remember
No, there was
thinking,
never beauty wood and beauty. It was neighborhood.
I remember thinking, what the heck is a beauty wood when I was a kid, when he would say it. So that I do remember, but I don't remember beauty. I remember neighbor.
I don't remember beauty wood either, so that's just a weird word to me.
Okay, but there's residue here for would you be mine, won't you be mine? And then at the bottom here, a neighborly day for a neighbor. And it also says neighborhood. Sandy, you forgot to box that in there too.
Oh,
Beautiful day in this neighborhood. See, that's wrong. Should be. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A neighborly day for a neighbor. Yep.
that's why I don't have this neighborhood blocked in.
But most of these say, "Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?" Yeah, there's different versions of "Would you be mine? Won't you be mine?" and "Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine?"
Hi, Philo. We showed you JCPenney at the beginning of the show.
Hi, Philo.
Sandy, did you want to
Not the.
Sandy, did you want to bring up at the end of the show? Do you want to look for? Do you want to pick a comment from the previous video? I think we talked about that. Do you want to do that?
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, if you can
I'll
find
send it to
last
you.
week's video, feel free to comment on
No,
it, and Sandy may mention you for
this week's video.
this
This
week.
week's
Oh, for this
video.
week's. No, I was talking about for
We're going to
last
do.
week. For this
We're,
week.
well, no. This week's already done. We're going to do a comment shout out where we're going to pick a comment from the previous video and put it on there from the comment section, not the chat.
All right, Jeff.
All right. While putting this together, I noticed some visual changes. The first, mirrors and rolling stones ME. The red light for the majority of the series is painted black. It was never black in my past. How about yours? Also, in the intro, I have never been titles.
Never seen titles.
Scenes.
I have never
Scenes.
seen titles or episode numbers, yet they appear in most years. Is this new for you too?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either.
Me either.
Hmm.
It just showed up Mr.
When I
Rogers,
thought,
the thing is, the R's were never connected either. You know?
Nope.
no, but that's not the big issue. What I found next blew my mind, guys. Be prepared. This one's big.
Finally, the craziest of them all, from 1969 until 1974. Episodes most of us have seen in syndication. The R is missing in Mr. Rogers. No, never.
Play it, Brian. But you can see it right there in the middle, guys.
No. It looks like
Mr.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Get out of here. No way. No.
No.
What's up with that R?
5 years. It was Mr. Rogers.
That's so weird, man.
Yeah, they never would have done that. That would have been too confusing for kids.
Yeah, there's no way. If you're trying to learn how to read and put letters mixed in like that,
Exactly. Looks so ridiculous.
you're like, let's confuse the kids.
Right?
They don't need to know how to read.
Preliminal says mysterious.
Sandy, you remember that one Mandela effect I asked you to if you could cover it for me?
Oh, one sec. Which one?
The one I texted you
No,
last
I
week.
don't. Which one did you text me last week? Did I cover it last week on your show?
No, it was for this week. I'm trying to remember. I
If you can't remember, how was I supposed to remember?
Well, I texted you.
You didn't send it to
Messaged
me.
you.
You sure you didn't just tell me on the phone? Because I have no idea which one you're talking about, Brian. Philo.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll have to go back. What?
Philo was asking what we showed of her residue. I have no residue or anything. I want to look on the other one for you. Brian, I think it's something you just told me over the phone, and that's why I don't remember it. Are you in Flickr? Are you looking to see if the folders have it
I'm looking to see.
from the last show? Because there was a folder for you, the Wizard of Oz last week. And the ice cream parlor.
Anyway, it might have been something I told you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was
You
like,
can't tell me,
Sandy,
I will
please,
forget.
can we cover this?
Hey, I just realized this is the second song change where the word won't changed. Last week I had a
Brian,
song.
you can't just tell me. You have to send me something. I will not remember it.
Yeah, there's too many things.
Okay, well, I'm trying to find that. We'll continue on with the next one. This next Mandela effect is the Philly department store. Who
Yeah.
wants to read that one?
Esther, you want to read one?
I'll try.
There's still 4 more folders to go.
This one with like dry eye in my right eye, so I'm closing my eyes when I
But
can.
you don't want to. You don't have
Oh,
to
no, I
read
can
it.
read it. I can read this one. The name of a local businessman and his international chain of department stores has changed for me. The department store opened December 30th, 1911, during a ceremony attended by President William Howard Taft, and was billed as the world's largest department store. The building contained 1.9 million square feet of floor space, including a central grand court that rises the entire 12 stories of the building. While the chain operated from 1877 through 1995, the building still operates as Macy's today, continuing the holiday light display tradition. Please fill in the blank of both his name and the store the same. John blank.
You can say it. Do you know it? If you don't know it, I'll say it.
Oh no, I want to say window maker, but I don't know.
Oh, it's John Wanamaker and Wanamakers. John Wanamakers. So if you know the store, please spell Wanamaker.
I clearly don't know how to spell it.
I'm guessing it's probably WAH or something.
One 911. Oh, it makes sense.
I mean, they were in New Jersey, New York, Delaware, not Los Angeles, Paris, Chicago. Well, they were open until the 1990s. Bit of Venom. You may be that old.
The Macy's was a big deal. I didn't know. They're not open anymore?
No, they were bought out by multiple places before Macy's.
Probably said the last few years I've just been kind of.
Can we move on? You got enough votes?
Oh.
Well, Jeff has the memory, so ask Jeff. There's no
Jeff,
one
what
in
do
the
you
chat.
remember?
I remember Wanamakers with 2 N's.
All right, we can go on. 'Cause there's more to this than a name change. That's in the wrong spot. You can just go on, Brian. You can go on.
For me, both his name and the store were always spelled Wanamaker, but now it's missing an N. The store now always has been Wanamakers.
Yeah, Sandy, I just remembered the one that you were supposed to cover for me.
What was it?
It was the A-Team van.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
right.
Esther even sent some residue, I think.
Yeah, I
Someone
thought you
sent residue.
Yeah. Can we talk about that on the next show then?
Yeah, just make sure you send me a message.
I like Beto Venom and Venom. There you go. I deny all knowledge of my age.
Believe it or not, that name looks too short. Even though it's so long.
It's
It looks
hard to
too short.
read.
Not
Looks like an
underneath.
M.
Just underneath. Under Good's house.
Man, now I want some fruitcake. Something about that signature line. I want a fruitcake. Oh.
It is associated with Christmas.
Yeah, I just saw it. I'm
So
like,
a
yeah.
lot of the newspapers from back when he was alive are all spelling his name wrong. Brian, you might want to pick up the pace. There's a lot here, and then it's not just the name change.
I don't think I've ever been in a Macy's because they've always been like been a high end store. I've always heard about
Brian,
their display, and then of course Macy's Day Parade.
What do you
Do
need
they
me to
still
do?
do that?
I said you might want to pick up the pace. There's more to this than the name change.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a huge
These are just
folder.
residues. All residues
Yeah.
for Wanamaker.
All right, that's good.
I'm closing my eyes for a little bit. I mute too.
Esther, you need some eye drops.
If you need a rest, I can pick it up.
Allergies. Just my allergies. I took my allergy meds, so I can't take them again.
Oh, you're ready to be zonked out, aren't you?
My eyes are acting up tonight. I have been taking my vitamin B. I did take my vitamin B today, so that definitely acts up with my allergies.
That's okay. I'll pick up. I'll pick up. It's okay. But the changes for me don't end with the spelling the name. I believe history may have been tweaked as well. In 1877, Wanamaker's Grand Depot opened inside the old Pennsylvania Railroad building from Monopoly. But the Wanamaker's Philadelphians grew to love was a remodel of the building that happened in 1911. It was the grand reopening in 1911 that has an event I've never heard of, the Wanamaker #1 hydrogen balloon. They even had locations in Paris and New York. Wanamaker had the not so great idea of a flying hydrogen balloon from his New York location to the Philadelphia location reopening. Takeoff took place on July 8, 1911. At first, it's not on my screen, everything went as planned, but the wind overtook the balloon and sent it north instead of south, and eventually led to an uneventful landing in Nyack, New York. What was a total failure was actually considered a hit. Wanamaker's airship. At one time in 1911, they launched a hydrogen balloon from Astor Place, with many hoping that the balloons would become a new way for New Yorkers to travel to Philadelphia. I have never heard of this, have you? And the article goes on to say, some even claim this is the beginning of a new phase in New York travel. Rooftops could regularly be used to launch airships of all sorts. This is the first step towards making the roofs of the Wanamaker buildings in New York and Philadelphia into permanent aerial stations, claimed the Evening World. Landing platforms and hangars for balloons and aeroplanes are to be built on the rooftops of the department stores in both cities. Never heard of this. But the biggest change for me was inside the store itself. I have no memory of a monorail ride for children inside the store.
What?
Sounds cool.
Wait, it gets weirder, Brian.
That is so cool.
It gets, yeah, well, wait, just wait. Just you wait. The Rocket Express operated from 1946 through 1984. I was 8. I would have wanted to ride it when I was ages 4 through 8. I've never seen it or even heard of it, and my friend Francine hasn't either. Yet both of us have been there many times during that time period. And Francine is more than a decade older than me, so she should definitely remember this, and she doesn't. Apparently, that time period in U.S. history has many monorails in department stores across the country. I've never seen a single one in my past. Have you? So there's
No,
monorails all over the country in
I
stores.
honestly, Sandy, I thought Disney World was the first monorail. But I mean, I'm sure there's some in
Um,
France and stuff like that.
well, I thought the Chicago subway system was. But
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I knew that they had
like,
like
I
model
mean,
trains.
there are monorails all over the place in the United States in department stores and malls, and I've never seen one in my life.
I haven't either.
You know, that's a great idea. Let's bring back monorails in the department stores.
That would be cool.
Yes, it would.
I know they always seem to have
And
like ice.
particle colliders.
Nowadays, kids love playing on their phones more than anything else.
I'm not 4-year-olds. Whether you knew of John Wanamaker's or not, is any of this a possible change in history for you? It's all Mandela for me.
That's a good one. I like that. That was probably the most interesting for tonight.
Well, we didn't get to the new ones yet.
Oh, that's just the older ones. Okay.
Those are just the older ones, yeah. The new ones are starting now.
Well, hopefully we've saved some of the best for last because, you know, we got to keep these people,
I
you know, hungry for more, right?
I think
Thirsty for more.
I think we did. I think we did. I think we saved a couple.
Oh, what was Philifire typing? Philifire says, Brian, I was typing just as you said that. Oh yeah, bringing back the
That was
monorails.
interesting.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Who
so many
wants to
people
read?
haven't actually get around.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Brian.
I'll read this one. I'll read this one.
Mhm.
The Boeing 747 is probably one of the best known airplanes, and somehow no one seems to have noticed that it changed. Do you remember passenger seating extending to the nose of the plane? Further forward than the cockpit? What? I've never seen this before on any plane. Have you? No,
So, guys in the chat, do you remember seating in front of the cockpit at the nose?
not at all. And I don't
Carrie
remember a
says
double deck.
no.
This airplane in particular looks like a double decker. I've never seen one like that.
Hmm.
You know, where you have a top floor and a bottom floor.
Yeah.
I've never
Yes,
seen that either.
I have. I've never ridden in one, but I've seen it. They're for international flights. The 747 was always a double decker for me, but
Okay.
the seating never went to the nose.
This isn't new. In fact, seating up to the nose has been the norm on the Boeing 747 since its very first flight in 1969. It's always been designed this way. Is this new for you too? You know, the other Mandela effect we talked about with airplanes was that the jets are further forward than the wings. Because right here, if you see them,
Mhm.
I don't know if you can see that magnifying glass cursor, but
So in the
they're a little bit far
really
forward.
quick,
And I think wasn't it
before we lose it,
Moneybags or Scarab Performance that covered that? I think it was on Scarab Show.
I don't remember who covered it first. It's been like 4 years. But
The
Carrie
yeah, it
says
was.
no. Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, I can
I want
hear
to
you.
read it. I'm gonna lose it. Carrie says I flew a lot in the 80s. No. Bit of Venom says no. Private Trans Girl, we're talking about this the windows, the seats going all the way to the nose underneath the
Yeah, there's
cockpit.
windows
That's what I
going
wanted to
all the way
get
to the
to.
cockpit.
I can't imagine that being safe because, like, if they had like a bird or something they hit when in flight, we all know that it crumples. And if you have someone that close to the
No,
nose
but
of the plane, you're likely to
I've
get
seen these
hurt.
airplanes. I've seen these airplanes. I do not remember them being that far forward.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing
Just a little
windows.
side note. Sandy says I also don't remember the tail engine looking like this. The opening
Now the
is so
tail engine
small.
is a Mandela effect. Okay.
So the opening is so small, almost like an eye or something, that I can't say on a family-friendly stream.
Yeah, I can't say what it really looks like. The thing is, this was a Mandela effect covered a while ago that they now have butt jets. Except they used to be shaped like that. That's what they used to be shaped like. And they're not shaped like that anymore.
They used to look like the forward-facing jet on top of the tail airplanes, another older ME. Now they just look like a hole.
And some of them are like oval. Do you guys remember this? This looks
No.
so weird to me. And this is also on the back of the 747. And other airplanes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That's weird.
Me either.
That's good. Great observation, Sandy.
That's fine.
What made you come across Boeing?
Tata.
The next one is giraffes. Okay, Tata.
Tata has airplanes, yeah. They have 747.
All right, so
Jeff, you want to read
giraffes.
this one?
Yeah.
I'll read. Who wants to read?
I'll read it.
All right, Jeff, you got it?
Yeah. The physical appearance of another animal has changed for me. This time it's giraffes that have been Mandela'd again. Maybe it's Mandela found the first change. They remain. Then need input covered them having between 2 and 5 ossicones. The skin-covered hardened cartilage horns on their head. I 100% agree. These are both MEs for me. In fact, with the exception of baby giraffes, all have 3 or more ossicones, not 2 like in my past. But the new change is what happens when they get older. Giraffes' horns on their head never stop growing, but instead of growing longer, bony growths grow on the sides of their horns and face, making older giraffes look bumpy. Have you ever seen this before? It's brand new for me.
Have you guys ever seen bumpy giraffes? Because
No.
they're everywhere. It's ridiculous looking.
Yeah, I
This is
remember
a
the cups
And
on
as
the
you
head.
can see, they all have 3 or more horns now. It's 3 standard. And some have 4, some have 5, and then when they get older, they get more bumps on top of them.
Wow.
That's crazy. I've never
Wait,
seen
that one there in the bottom left? Is that like a bump over its eye?
Yep.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's their face and horns, not just the horns.
And you sure these aren't like photoshopped images or anything?
Absolutely positive, Brian.
Okay. This one is just odd and weird stuff. Okay. This next
Oh, this
one.
is
Okay,
fun.
Jeff.
All right.
folder
This
with
is a
odd and weird
compilation
stuff.
folder, guys.
All right,
Who
from
in the
Brittany.
chat, before you go further, Brian, before you read it, who in the chat thinks that Biden's been body swapped? Just yes or no in the chat. Do you think Biden's been body swapped? Because, Jeff, you used to think that, right? Or you still do?
I still do.
I think he got
Jeff just
mine
wrote
swapped.
yes.
I mean, he's behaving a lot differently than when he first campaigned. I know that.
Hey, welcome back, Loyalty Nation family. Who says yes? General Sara says maybe.
I don't know.
T Mage pleads the fifth. Carrie is the yes. All right, we
I
can
don't
go.
know.
You can start reading, Brian. What'd you
All
say,
right, from
Esther?
Brittany.
Oh, I don't
Brittany
really
to
care.
robots, and even the president. These aren't Mandela effects, but things that are odd, downright weird that I wanted to share. This one is for those of you that believe Joe might be a clone or a body swap. President Biden was recently photographed with his wife Jill, and I couldn't help it. She looked just like the Von Trapp children dressed in drapes and in The Sound of Music, but
Well, really quick, that's it. She looks just like she's in the drapes. I swear. I had to include it.
that is funny.
Oh,
That was like a custom dress, actually. Joe was walking
That's
beside her,
what.
and it looks like his shirt had gotten wet, and you can see through it a bit. Does anyone have any logical explanation for the two seemingly glowing dots on his chest? I can't think of anything else, anything that this could be.
Go to the next slide. There's close-ups.
That's so
Does
weird.
everyone see the glowing dots on his chest?
So that
What is on it?
when was this? Was this
Uh-oh.
recently?
Sandy just got kicked out.
Okay, we'll get her back in.
That's weird though. Like, what? Did somebody throw a milkshake on him?
I don't know. I can't think of why he'd be glowing.
Maybe it's just the glare off from the picture or something.
No, there's
There's
it's
like
two
a-
red glowing dots under his shirt. It's so freaking weird. I don't know what it could possibly be.
I just noticed like there's like a red dot in between the two as well.
Yeah,
Can
so
you
there's
zoom
the
in
two red
on the biggest
dots.
one, Brian?
I was
Can you zoom
asking,
in
hang on,
the
I was
back?
asking you, let me go back. Sandy, I was asking you, when was this? Was this recently?
Yeah, it was in like the past 3 weeks. Can you zoom in on the biggest one? That's the one on the bottom left,
Look
so
like
everybody can
eyes.
see it clearly. It looks like
Looks like
red glowing
eyes.
eyes under his shirt. It does look like it's coming from under the shirt because there's a glow around it. So that means it's coming from under the shirt.
Do you think he's doing all this stuff to us on purpose? The stuff that's happening now?
Oh, maybe it's
I mean, everybody's entitled to
Yes.
their own opinion.
Not on YouTube, you're not.
maybe those are his batteries.
That's why I
They
can't
only
control
glow
panel.
when low.
Speaking of robots and Terminators, LOL. The Hen Na Hotel, which translates to Strange Hotel, which is located in Tokyo, Japan, is known as the world's first robot hotel. I believe the food and housekeeping are provided by humans, but when you reach the second floor check-in area, you are greeted by a male and female robot who are happy to check you in.
Please do not touch the robots.
Also in the lobby are a group of miniature dancing robots that perform different dances at different times on a schedule.
Like Lord Farquaad.
Since you won't see any human employees during your stay, There is a table of amenities available with everything from bathrobes to towels to shampoo and hairbrushes, which you can take with you to your room. That's fancy.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Free razors.
yeah. Other than that, it appears to be a pretty normal Japanese hotel. Personally, I find this more creepy than Strange Hotel. How about you? Would you stay here? I don't know. I'd feel a little weird because there's no real people around except for the guests if you can catch them at odd times. This has got to be the weirdest one I'm sharing. This was real. This was a real ad that was at the bottom of an article I was reading at first, and it just seems off. But upon closer inspection, it's all wrong, and it genuinely reminds me of glitched images in Google Street View. Why would a credit card company use an image like this? It's disturbing. So, what's with the image, Sandy?
Look at her face.
What's wrong with her?
Oh, yeah, what's with the eye?
Look at her hand. Look at the city, the Eiffel Tower. Everything's glitched. And this credit card company used this image to advertise the credit card.
Wow.
She's holding a credit card in her hand, but I wanted you to see her fingers.
Yeah, look
Do you
at
have
her
the
teeth
commercial? Do
and
you have the
everything.
link to the commercial?
No, I don't have the link to the ad.
Worst
I just saved the
Photoshop
image.
ever.
Britney Spears'
Yeah.
infamous head shaving photo. Her eye appears to be flat inside her head, looking up into the top of her eye socket. Of course, it's not. It's the angle of the shot, but it looks so creepy, and it's all I see now.
Go to the next slide.
Yeah, it was weird.
Next slide. Do you see it? Do you see the eyeball squished flat down?
Yeah, with the
Once
angle and
once you
everything.
see it,
Well,
I
she's
don't know
got
if you guys are
what
able
is
to
that?
see what.
I don't. I see it looking pretty normal, but what's that black dot off to the side?
That's what's giving the illusion. That black dot looks like a pupil. If you're
I
looking at
think
it the way I'm
that's
looking at it,
No, that's the
that should
black
be your
dot's not a
eyelashes,
pupil.
right?
That's
Should be your
I'm
eyelash.
it's your
looking at
eyelash.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
like
eyelash.
mascara.
Oh, is it
But
mascara on the
once you
eyeball?
see it as an eyeball, with that the eyelash being a pupil, that's all I see when I look at this picture now. Is her eye smushed into her skull. They in the chat, they're seeing it. Once
I'm
you
not
see it,
seeing
you
it.
can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's just her eyelash
Because you're
with a
trying,
lot of mascara on a specific spot.
right. But when you look at it,
Yeah,
all I see is an eyeball smushed into her head now.
It's hard
yeah,
to tell.
it's definitely the lighting and everything. Yeah, it's all the lighting and the everything. Yeah, it is weird. Looks like an upside down triangle, kind of.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's see. I think this is the last one. This is Chewbacca again.
Yep.
And Sandy, I know you sent this to me earlier.
Yep. Oh, part of it.
Hey, take America Back from Israel says Dennis is Denise in 2022. That's funny. Okay.
All right, I'm going to read this one. All right, guys. I know I just covered Star Wars, but this is a major change for me, so I had to ask. Star Wars just won't stop changing. This time it's Chewbacca's feet that have changed from my memory. And his eyes, but we're going to get to that. Which feet best represent how you remember Chewbacca? Number one, just like smooth and covered in hair, like a shoe-like almost. Number two, feet and toes covered in hair. Or number three, hair over the feet, hairless toes sticking out, like Bigfoot. Which
No, it was
one do you
no.
remember?
It was
One.
it was number one. Number one.
Okay, number one. Let me read the chat. Bit of venom. Well, I can't even talk. Is a 3. Philo Fire is a 1. Cherry is a 1. Frank Nunez is a 1. General Sorrow, it's okay. They have no idea.
That's a number
Private
one.
Trans Girl is a 1. 1 for Esther. 1 for TD Mage. Jeff, what about you?
Number 1.
Number 1 for Jeff.
Everybody but
Marlo, welcome. Huh?
Oh, is it everybody but Venom said 1?
Yep.
That's
Marlo,
like-
welcome. Number 1. So I remember number 1, his feet looking like hairy shoes almost. No toes, with the toes and pad of his foot being underneath, like this image illustrates. Like I assume. I don't think I ever saw the bottom of his feet. I'm assuming his foot would be like that, where, if, you know, I think it was just like a shoe on the bottom. But, you know.
Mhm.
The point is, you didn't see his toes in my pants. Harry says,
Okay.
I remember him walking just far. I agree.
All right, do I hit the next one?
Yep.
It's not Harry with the Hendersons.
Here-
Are you sure that's not Harry with
Yeah,
the
that's-
Hendersons?
I'm positive.
Harry and the
this
Hendersons?
I'm positive. That's what I said. It looks like Bigfoot now. In this reality, the answer is 3. His toes, or possibly long toenails, are completely visible, showing brown or black feet and toes. The color changes depending on the film. Is this what you remember? I do not. We're going to have more pictures of it. You'll see.
I mean, what's next? Are they going to give him chest appendages?
I hope not. He's wearing a purse. So I need to explain here. The image. He
I'm
is
so sorry.
just floating in the air. I know. The image on the left is before they completed the costume. Before they put the toes or the toenails in, it's just holes. You can see the holes. So I photoshopped it to the way I remember on the right. On the right is Photoshop. On the left is prior to them completing it.
That's so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
Okay.
chesticles.
I have one more question, but I could be completely wrong on this one. Which color eyes do you remember Chewbacca having? Green, brown, or blue? What do you remember?
He had brown.
Brown for
I want to say
Brian, Esther, and
brown.
Jeff?
I want to say
Blue.
brown, but I also could see a little bit of hazel in his eyes as well. But I remember brown.
Okay,
I
and
could see it
Jeff
being
is
like
blue.
a hazily color. If it was going to be like a greenish color, it would be like with brown, but with a little bit of green mixed in. But I thought it was just like brown. It's been a little
In
while
the
since I've
chat,
seen
Philo remembers brown. Carrie remembers brown. Eddie Vine Keen Hay says blue. Frank Nunez says brown. If you don't know, it's okay.
I don't know.
is
Whenever he
guessing
made that
brown.
noise, he always closed his eyes. You know that?
Yes.
You know that whole thing?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
See, but even if you couldn't really tell in the
Jeff,
movies,
Jeff, can you
there
do
were
your Chewbacca
dolls,
impression?
merchandise.
I don't know if I can. No, I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm laying down.
Esther, come on, you do it.
Oh, I
Chewbacca
can't.
impression.
I'm like laying down sideways.
All right, Sandy.
I can't do
Sandy,
it
do
now.
yours.
I'm also laying down sideways. I can't.
It compresses your windpipe, so I can't do it properly. Oh, I don't. I've never been able
All
to
right.
do his.
We can go on. So they are blue now. Jeff has the current memory, and so does Eddie Van.
Wow.
I clearly remember him having brown, even on toys and other memorabilia. But his eyes have always been blue. Dot,
Yeah,
dot,
that's
dot.
it. And he looks like he's got a black mustache now.
Yeah, Teresa covered that.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, I thought we already covered that.
Yep. It's not on my screen yet. I'm still waiting. His eye color is explained because the actress who portrayed Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, who of course we were talking about earlier because Sync, and Judith Suotem both have blue eyes. But they could have used brown contacts in my reality. Do you remember brown eyes like I do? Most of you do. So,
Yeah, I always thought they were brown.
I just thought they were brown too.
That's how I remember.
I've also come across some residue of no purse on his belt and possible residue of Chewbacca receiving the medal that he doesn't get in the movie now. So at the top, it's a youth Chewbacca sweatshirt jacket, and the strap just ends in a strap. There is no like purse of any sort. Like it, and then at the bottom, Teresa posted this in the group. It's a comic book where Chewbacca is getting the medal. And then on the right, we have Carrie Fisher with Chewbacca with brown eyes. Chewbacca with brown eyes getting the medal. I do not, private trans girl. Guys on the panel, does anyone remember Chewbacca having gloved hands and not actually fingers under his fur? You mean like it looked like mittens except it was fur? Is that what you mean? Brian, can you go back? I didn't get to point out all the blue eyes that are insane. Like look, like it's obvious he has blue eyes. Everything is blue. Everything. Toys, drawings, everything's blue. It looks so weird to me with blue eyes. And here's brown eyes.
Yes, that's right.
That one there at the bottom right looks especially right for me.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're looking at current day feet. And some of them have brown eyes. If you see the green box, it's because it has brown eyes. But as you can see, we've got toes happening.
Maybe he did. Maybe he changed. He changed just like Hitler did. Hitler has blue eyes now.
Mm-hmm.
Had. Obviously.
Speaking of that, I remember this as an older change I talked about before, but when I used to do a lot of research on eye colors and stuff, blue used to
Stay
be
here,
the
Brian.
prominent color,
Brian, go back.
and now it's brown. Like that's like the most common color.
Wait, which is the most common?
It's supposed to be brown now. Last time I looked, and I did research back in
brown
like
is the dominant
2015.
gene.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
2015. I did a search about it, and blue eyes was the number one most common eye color. And then, like 3-4 years later, I did another search on it, and I did a recheck, and they're like, "Oh, brown." I'm like, "No, it was blue a couple years ago."
Oh, you are totally in a different reality than me. Blue has always been the rarest eye color for me.
Me too.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like blue
Brown.
was
It's a
always,
recessive
like,
gene.
everybody had blue.
Only
So
9% of the United States have green eyes.
I have green.
I knew green
Hi,
was
Fiverr.
a lot. And that's
Listen,
where I was.
this is the orange is for people who remember number 2. Fully, you can see the toes, but completely covered in hair. including the original doll, which has toes, but it's brown. There's no different color for the toes sticking out. That's why it's an orange here. I had to explain. Sorry, Esther. All right,
Okay.
go on, Brian. Now you're going to go to residue. Oh, I got to tell General Sorrow something when we're done. Well, while you're looking at the residue, General Sorrow, in this reality, if you have any green in your eyes, you have green eyes. There's no such thing as hazel green eyes. I grew up thinking I had hazel green eyes, but no. Green eyes can now have gold flecks in the center,
Well,
and that's still
Sandy,
green.
Sandy, I got to ask you something. Have you ever came across people that had blue eyes, but with a little bit of brown on the inside? They have an inner ring, an inside ring that goes around the pupil that's brown. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, and I always thought that was hazel blue, but apparently that's just blue eye, a type
Yeah,
of
it's
blue
blue
eye
eyes,
now.
but with like a brown ring on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend of mine who has that. He has blue eyes, but then they're also like brown on the inside.
That's
I'm
weird,
always
isn't
like,
it?
"What color are your eyes?" And I'm like, "That's kind of an
I
interesting
always
thing."
used to think that eyes were always definitive. They're either all blue or all brown, and now we got this dark
Or
ring around
hazel.
the outside. Have you guys
Yeah,
noticed that dark limbo ring people have now?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I
I mean,
have that now.
my eyes are like 95% green, and then they have a little bit of gold in the middle.
Yeah, I do find it interesting how when I did that research was like 2015, I believe it was, when I did the research about the color of eyes. And then, like I said, like 2, 3 years later, I did another Google search and it changed after that, which it's kind of interesting is that 2015 where like a lot of the Emmys were happening. So I just found it kind of interesting.
We can file this folder along with all the other ones that have changed eye colors, all the other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people now that I meet. I'm like, we got brown eyes, brown eyes. And I'm like, I remember it used to always be blue, 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 like everywhere. So
What
it's
color are
just
your eyes,
weird.
Esther?
They're blue.
What color are
Actually,
yours,
my
Jeff?
son, he has like a bluish green.
Your son has
I
a
don't
bluish
know.
green? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
my son has a bluish green too. His mom has blue eyes, but she's got the brown in the middle, just like around the eye, around the pupil. And
Doesn't Jeff have brown?
my daughter, she's got blue eyes. My other daughter, my 3-year-old, she's got brown eyes, like me.
I've got brown, but I have that weird limbo ring around it
Yeah,
now.
it's like
Yeah.
a black limbo ring for me.
Yep. Me
Yeah.
too.
I know it was interesting. I found out about like Benedict Cumberbatch has that where his eyes are like a bluish green. It depends on what color he's wearing, will depend on if his eyes will look blue or green. And that's the way my son is as well. His is kind of like a bluish green where if he wears blue, they
Yeah.
look blue, but if he wears green, they
I
look like they're green.
I honestly thought that the limbo rings had something to do with your age. As you get older, maybe I figured those limbo rings get bigger and more noticeable.
That was
But
the
the
old
fact
reality.
is, my 3-year-old has limbo rings too.
I thought
Oh,
the
gosh.
reason behind them was you have younger eyes. Like it's actually with youth
Yes.
and vitality. It's more than it is.
We found residue. We found residue of that, the old reality, that celebrities used to get contacts of the limbo ring to appear more youthful.
It is weird to
But
like
now,
look in the mirror. And look.
it used to be that the limbo rings, Brian, the way it used to be is that you have limbo rings when you're born, and as you age, they disappear.
Oh,
And now they
really?
don't disappear. Yeah,
Oh,
that was the old reality.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is a new segment, comment shout out, and it goes to Super Mario Brothers 3. Amazing show, Brian, Sandy Diva, Teresa, and Jeff, and I'm adding Esther because Esther was
Yeah,
there.
add Esther too.
And
Yeah,
Esther.
Sandy, they said brain, but it's okay.
I know. I just
Maybe
I get called
autocorrect.
brain all the time.
I know my autocorrect used to flip that all the time.
Thank you
It's
for the
it's
comments, Super
interesting.
Mario Brothers. Right.
It's interesting you said Mario. Is that something that people say up north, or
Mm-hmm. I
I've
think
always
so.
said Mario, but some people say Mario. I don't know which one's correct. Maybe you could correct me. I don't know.
Well, it's just like Sandra and Sandra. But if you call me
And all.
Sandra, I'll ignore you. I hate that name. It's
Why is
Sandra,
Mary
not
Benedict
Sandra.
with English?
Huh?
Oh, I was reading
What's
Private
English?
Transcript. She said, "Does anyone remember the actor Doctor Strange being American and not from the UK?" But Benedict was always from um, England. He just has a really good American accent.
Yeah, he does.
What do you want to do tonight, Brain?
See, Philo says Mario too.
Yeah, I say Mario, but also I don't really have, I've kind of adapted Middle Americans' way of pronouncing words since I've moved all over the place to take over
I
the
say
world.
it both ways, to be honest. I will say it both ways. Like if you go back to the video when I covered their clothes changing, I was probably saying Mario. I will flip back and forth without even thinking about it.
Because I don't know if you noticed, I changed my name to Brain.
Yeah,
Welcome, Chrissy.
you're gonna take over the world.
Brain McFarlane. It actually rhymes. I'm sorry.
Bree McFarlane. Welcome, Price. Right at the end, guys.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for
Yeah.
joining us. I'm glad. Hope you had a good time. I'm glad that everyone could make it. Have a great Mandela Effect night. God bless. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Good night,
Night.
everyone.
Night, everyone.